So, should I be worried? Questions for Brandon? Everybody get them in. I saw everyone giggling earlier, so I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Now these are some very solid, good questions.
Awesome.
I have to say, there's no. These are people that I definitely want. They're serious about it.
That
so
is what, and we have the expert here, everybody. So it's not too late to get your questions in. So start tweeting Priscilla. Give us number 1, Priscilla.
All right. So guys, use the hashtag Ask Brandon Aki, or even ask Sherry Lee for these, sending these questions. Okay, so these are very interesting. So the first one is, when a friend becomes a lover, how do you keep a friendship while dating? And this is coming from Twitter, from Jerry Lexion.
So when you make that jump from friends to lovers, how do you keep the friendship? I'll answer this first because I personally believe you can't, Priscilla. I think once you cross that bridge, it's hard to go back. It is really hard to go back. Everyone's shaking their head. Brandon, am I right or wrong? What do you think?
Honestly, I used to believe that.
Yeah.
I used to believe that, and simply put, it's hard to be best friends with the person that you're intimate with, right. Because there's a lot of things that can kind of ruin that fire and that romance. But in order to keep that friendship going, all you need is that great dialogue, right? Things are going to change, once you start adding in that physical element. Right. Once you start getting into that intimacy. So when that happens, now you have to be more vocal. You have to be more understanding of what that person's insecurities are, because you're seeing them in a completely different light. So now you have to talk more and more and more. And you have to push each other to talk more. Because before, when you're just friends, it gets comfortable.
Right.
But then when you get into that next realm, you really have to push each other hard to communicate better.
So you think you can?
It can.
Yeah.
It can. And it can be a really strong relationship, but it can also go bad really, really quick.
Yeah.
So you have to push to have that dialogue. Right. Yeah, and you have to push yourself to have that dialogue as well. So open your heart, and a lot of great things can happen.
Great advice. Great advice.
Great. And so the next question is coming from Sarah from Colorado. She says, I think my boyfriend is just using me for sex. How can I tell if he loves me?
Oh, hey, Sarah. Thank you so much.
That's tough. That's tough.
Oh, wow. Guy's point of view.
All right. Well, the way to find out if someone is really into you is just to really look at, the way that they perceive love. Okay, and you can tell that by a lot of their past situations. I always tell people to find out about their past romances and how they deal with their mom and the key influential women in their lives. But what you're going to find is that the times where you think that he may not be into you and stuff like that, and he's just using you for one thing, is whenever he does the nice, thoughtful things. And when in doubt, talk about it. When in doubt,
Great
talk
advice.
about it.
Yeah.
Actually say to him, hey, how do you feel about me right now? What's going on? And then the other piece of it, and I know that sucks for a lot of people. They say, hey, you don't want to bring up the conversation, that kind of thing. But ultimately, you want to be happy. Yeah. And that's why you're in the relationship to begin with. So you need to say straight out, hey, I feel disrespected, or I feel this way or that way, and then see if they want to fix it. Yeah. Or if they want to change their ways so that they can make you feel more respected, or that it's not only that piece. And if they decide to make those changes, if they decide to show you that they care, well, then now he's in it for the right thing. If not, or his ego's too big to go that route, then he's the wrong person for you.
Wrong person. Great.
Yeah.
Great advice. Talk. Start a conversation.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Great advice.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So I guess the basis of both of those is communicate. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And this is coming from Karen from Chicago. She asked, can a narcissist be loved or love?
Oh, Karen, great question. I have an easy answer.
Yes.
No. That's all I'm going to say.
Answer's no as well. I agree.
Yeah.
We're right here. Yeah, absolutely. There's really, if they don't care about themselves, and if they care too much about themselves to even make you a focal point in their lives, then move on.
See you later, alligator.
Simple. Yeah.
Deuces. Okay. So this is coming from Howie in North Dakota, our famous North Dakota.
Oh.
If I don't reply in 5 minutes, my girlfriend texts me relentlessly. What should I do? That's kind of annoying.
Oh,
Sorry.
Howie. We all know this is the most aggravating thing in the whole wide world. My first thing would say, throw your phone out the window. But that's not going to solve much. Brandon, this is so annoying when this happens. And I think it's based on insecurity. Don't you agree?
It is based on insecurity. And the major thing there is to reassure.
Yeah.
And then be firm after you reassure.
And I'm only giggling. It's like, oh, Howie, we just feel really bad for Howie. Because I'm feeling Howie might be on our crew.
You know what,
But
Sherry Lee? I think you should use that. What's that app? The app that
Oh,
you
the Bro app.
You should use the Bro app, right? Yes.
That might be the only time. But in all seriousness, it's really annoying. It's really, and I think when you do that, you show your insecurities like bam.
Yeah, and we all have insecurities, and that's the important thing to realize.
Yes.
So when someone shows that, it means that they actually care.
Yeah.
So you shouldn't feel bad when someone does that, but what you should do is just say, hey, when you find the right time, you just say, hey, look, I really care about you, and I really enjoy your company and being with you.
Right.
When I don't text back, this is what's going on.
Yeah.
But also too, the thing is that it's really simple just to send a quick message that just says, hey, in a meeting, talk to you in a few,
Right.
Or excuse yourself, go to the restroom really quick, text them, see what's going on. It's just something very, very quick. Hey, call you in an hour. Those really simple things just let someone know that you're connected. And when somebody does that over and over again, they have all these like text messages, the barrage.
Yeah.
It just really, they want to connect with you, but they don't know how, and they feel like it's slipping.
Yeah.
Just let them connect. Just something real simple, and then and back away. Yeah.
Brandon, I'm going to disagree because I think it's annoying as hell. It just is, and I think ladies don't do it because it shows your insecurities. It really does. I think it's like one of the worst things a woman can do, because you have to realize life gets busy. And you might not have that cell phone on you all the time. And again, I think it goes back to having a great conversation. It's like, hey, look, I love getting text messages from you, but just realize I can't answer them all the time because I'm busy. And I know the busy thing, everyone's like, well, everyone's too busy to do that, but sometimes you just are. Yeah. So, I don't like when ladies do that because it shows their insecurities. And I think, if you've gotten to the point where you're that insecure, you really need to have a conversation with the person you're with.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So he should definitely have a conversation with her.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Howie, make sure you have that conversation. So, and this is coming from our #1 fan, Rona Berry. Thank you so much for sending in your question. So her question is, a friend who hasn't dated in 10 years is going out on a dinner date, and she wants to know, should I offer to pay dinner?
Wow.
Brandon? Sherry?
I know, we live in a different day and time. I'm a little bit old-fashioned. I guess it depends if he asked her. Right, Brandon? Come on, we need help with this one.
Well, everyone wants something different, right? Everyone is different. And so in this day and age, it's always polite. It's always, you should never have any shame in just simply asking, hey, can I pay?
Yeah.
And and the thing is that when you ask that question, you're going to find out a ton of different things.
True.
Right? There's going to be the guy who says, hey, well, let's split it. There's going to be the guy who says, absolutely. And then there's going to be the guy who says, absolutely not. Right. And depending on the type of man that you want in your life, even long term, well, then you're going to find out exactly, what type of person he is right there.
That was actually great advice. Offer and see how we react.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
And there's a big difference too. I mean, you'll see the guys who kind of fumble around, or they're itemized. They'll look through, or the difference when a guy just grabs his wallet and says, "Put yours down. Here you go." Not even a, So you'll be able to see whether or not, you'll see his poker face.
Yeah. No hiding. I like that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Great answer. So this one is from Whitney from Tampa. She says, I caught my boyfriend watching online porn. Should I be worried?
I don't think so. Right? Watching it. Come on. If I took all my crew's phones, I'm going to find porn on every single one. I know it. Even Matthew. So, Brandon, should she be worried?
No. Well, the true answer is she should be worried because she should know what type, he shouldn't have to sneak and find those things out, okay?
Yes.
So that's the only reason why she should worry.
Yeah.
The other thing is that what she should do immediately is just run up really quick and just say, hey, like, what are you checking out? Like, let me see what's going on, Those types of things are very, very quick to fix and let you know that, hey, your relationship's in the right spot if you can share those intimate things that you're trying to hide from the person, everything like that.
That is great. I like that. That is great advice.
Yeah,
That is great advice.
Absolutely.
So this is our second to last question. It's coming from Leslie. She asks, how can you tell if a guy is a player?
I think guys reveal themselves really quickly. Just observe. Brandon, what do you think?
It's a true player, like you can't catch them.
Really?
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they will do, and I'll explain. Because they will be respectful enough so that their movements are not being caught, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
The ones who are not respecting your time, or if they're testing you, that kind of thing, are the ones who they get caught and things like that. The guy who, especially when you haven't defined the relationship, and a lot of women find themselves in those types of situations where they haven't defined the relationship and the guy is doing one thing or another.
Yeah.
So the best thing to do in that situation is, if he is a player or you suspect it, is just have the conversation. Hey, what's going on? The thing that women always have to ask themselves is there somebody else that can be a better woman for the type of guy that I want to be with, right? And every guy needs someone that he can confide in, someone that he can tell anything to.
Yeah.
And almost 100% of men out there can't tell everything to the one that they're with. So be that person that he can confide in, and you'll find someone that doesn't need to go around and doesn't need to find anyone else. That's really the main issue.
Interesting. And I also think, Brandon, you have to, as a woman, you have to listen to that little voice inside of you. Listen to that little voice, ladies.
Absolutely.
Exactly. So this is actually our last question, and it just came from the chat room. The question is, Brandon, are you single? And do you date women over 50?
Oh my goodness. All right. Now, all my guests on the show, come to me, Andy, because I have, and I've done this before, all my guests on the show that everybody's asked if they're single, they have to go through me. So if you want to know, write me, tweet me, whatever you want to know. Tell me what kind of woman you are, and we'll pass it on to Brandon. And the same with all those men out there who are always asking me about Priscilla. You know what's so funny when that happens, Priscilla? Oh, they are. Because when I challenge them to send me the information, and I'll check them out before I pass it on to you, not one of them has. There we go. Right? Oh my goodness, that was so much fun. Thank you so much to everybody. Brandon, Aki, thank you so much for joining us today. Everybody loves it when you're on the couch because your advice is awesome. Before we go, September 5th.
September 5th is the salon takeover, date night with Brandon Aki. So go to brandonaki.com. Make sure that you check that out.
Absolutely.
And it's a really great event designed to help like-minded women really get on the same page and make sure that they're prepared for that, for any dating situation, any relationship situation that you've got.
That is incredible. Everybody, September 5th, brandonaki.com. Check it out. Brandon will be back with us again soon.
Curvy body's going on, child. Looking good with your fashion style. Life is short, it ain't no guarantee.